Welcome back to Thronebreaker. So, last time, my recording cut off at the end while I was talking to our new engineer, Xavier or Xavier, depending on who's saying it, I suppose. So, I'm going to go back and replay that conversation.
Yes, milady?
You've long served in King Demoven's army, haven't you?
Yes, Your Grace.
Why enlist at all? What prompted you to do so?
The king needed engineers. I answered the call.
Not terribly talkative, are you?
I can build any bridge, any ballista, but to talk, well, it hurts to talk.
I see. Well, do not worry. I prefer deeds to words, in myself and others. Other matters await my attention. We shall speak later.
As you wish, my lady.
Alright, so now that we have that out of the way, I want to reconsider my deck a little bit. So I was thinking about my deck setup, and it occurred to me that I'm trying to do too many things with it, specifically as it applies to Gascon. So Gascon is just a stat card, much like the Mardrome that I took out earlier, the Bear Mardrome. And in that regard, like trying to put stuff in that, combos with him is not really comboing with the rest of my deck, which is mostly just about destroying enemies, rather than just playing high power things. So I think I'm actually going to take him out of the deck. And now that actually puts me down to 25 cards. But my thought is I might actually take the Slinger out, and I might even take the Bomber out. Now the Bomber, I do ultimately want in, but what I really want is the Bomber Plus that has the 2/3 chance to deal fire damage. Right now, the Bomber is not all that strong for me. So before I do that, what I'm going to do is see how far away I am from... Okay, recruit cap I don't really care about. So this gives me... the ability to just do the Bomber. This, and oh my gosh, that's a long time until I can recruit Bomber Plus. Holy crap. Okay, I need 8,000 gold. And I'm not really excited about this upgrade either. Well... that's unfortunate. It'd be nice to get War Wagon Plus. I actually have enough gold for that, I just need more wood. Aretuza Adept is also quite strong with the way that my deck is set up. You can add more Arbalists and Drummers and things like that to the deck. It's pretty good. Anyway, okay, well, I'm a long way away from being able to get Bomber Plus, is the point. So I am thinking that I might actually just remove, the heck with the Strays. I don't need them. Just roll with the Lyrian approach rather than the Strays approach. And so if I do that, then I think do I have another... I know I have another Wagenberg. Which combos nicely, of course, with Xavier and with Black Rayla. And do I have another War Wagon? I think that's... I do not. I can grab another one. Oh, I'm actually oversupply. Derp. Okay. Well, I could go to 2 Wagenbergs and... I guess, I mean, this is a blitz unit, so I could still have the 1 bomber. Or I could put in the infiltrator because now I'm not dealing damage over time. But I'm still trying to kill things. Like, oh, this is a blitz guy. Yeah, I do like this. Why do I have 5 of them? Did I recruit that many? Or did they just come with... Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, this actually is pretty nice. Okay. Yeah, let's roll with that. A shrine. Before I grab that, let's go over here.
Plowing traitors. Where's the king? Why'd he leave us a black-clad mercy? They took everything. I'd head to the wood, but my fear of the Scoia'tael. Where's the king? Why'd he leave us a black-clad mercy?
Alright. Guess there's no harm in grabbing this now. Oh, and that confirmed finally. I probably would have known this earlier if I'd been paying attention, but that the only time that your morale is affected is when you fight a real battle. It could be a shortened battle, but a real battle, not a puzzle battle, which is good to know.
Meave's ears caught the sound of a ruckus coming from the camp.
Thief! Inglet! A pox upon you all!
It was her quartermaster hurling oaths at the peasants she had freed from the Nilfgaardian slave convoy. A few had stolen supplies under the cover of darkness and escaped into the woods. Terror and dread gripped the other freed prisoners. Meave mulled over what to do with them, and Reynard, as always, offered some advice.
Yeah.
It was high time they went off on their own, your grace. They are too great a hindrance. They slow our march, divert our soldiers from more important tasks. And now this.
Gascon was listening to their conversation. Meave shot him a questioning look.
I opposed taking them in. So, for consistency, I now oppose forcing them to leave. We made their miserable lives our responsibility, did we not? Well then, that is a burden we cannot simply shrug off.
Okay. Is this just gonna happen again? Like, I mean, the ones who didn't run off are not at fault for this, so there's no particular reason to blame them, but, yeah.
Let us not mince words. We cast off these peasants now, they shall die.
Meave said in the end.
Let them stay. But I want them watched. They cause any more trouble, military justice they shall face. Understood?
Can we go find the ones that ran off?
Prisoners sighed with relief. The infantrymen assigned to watch over them, however, grumbled their disapproval of the Queen's decision.
It is an army, not a shelter,
they said. Meave's ears surely caught the complaint. But the Queen had never let the opinions of others guide her in such matters, trusting only her own judgment.
Well, I mean, she listens to her advisors. Okay, lost the morale. Apparently I can go in here. It's interesting. Surprised that didn't trigger some kind of something. Alright. Let's go up here first, I guess. And also, why are you bugging me again? It's the same crap. Come on. Okay. I know about that. I guess I lost the ability to build it and then regained it. Or something.
Not liking the looks of this.
Gascon said, furrowing his brow. Meve followed his gaze. Before them, beside the road, stood a hut with a scorched thatch roof.
Why?
Hut's abandoned, yet dried fruit and mushrooms hang from the eaves. Famine raging all around and no one's been tempted. I'd send a scout if I were you.
The Queen did as Gascon suggested, and sent 3 infantrymen to reconnoiter. They entered the hut and found only silence, that was soon broken by a blood-curdling growl. The soldiers ran out at full speed, tripping over their own legs.
Scorched, thatched roof. Trogdor was here.
Meve drew her sword, convinced a horde of neckers or ghouls would soon attack. But her fears proved unfounded. Instead of monsters, out of the hut came a shaggy dog, a torn scrap of fabric clutched in its teeth.
Milady!
One of the soldiers began, his face red with embarrassment and his hands covering a hole in his breeches.
Was dark as a well inside, and that hound, it jumped out at us all of a sudden, biting it and snapping.
Bad boy,
Gascon said with a smile, then pulled a hunk of dried sausage from his bag. Bought by this generous offering, the dog calmed down at once.
Oh, tell me I get like a dog
Further
card. That'd be
examination
amazing.
showed the dog was the hut's only resident. Like many others in Aedirn, its owners had disappeared without a trace. Their loyal mutt still guarded the premises, waiting for his master's return.
let's take him with us.
Gascon said.
Otherwise, he'll die here, of his own hunger or someone else's.
A
Yeah.
watchful sentry like this could prove useful in our camp.
Said the Queen.
Fine, he can join. But he shall need a name.
How about Reynard?
Proposed Gaston, a cheeky grin smeared across his face.
That way, he'll come when you call, sit on command, and always be a heel. Always heel, that is.
Watch your words,
Said Reynard, hand tightly gripping the hilt of his sword.
or you'll learn I'm not at all as tame as you believe.
Enough, both of you. That's an order. As for you,
The Queen took a good look at the dog, who still had a scrap of fabric in his teeth.
since it seems you have a taste for the cloth of the nether regions, I dub you... Knickers. Will that do?
The dog wagged its tail vigorously, as if thoroughly pleased with its new name. Meve's company
What?
marched off, a furry new recruit richer.
Knickers. What? Okay. Immune, permanent resilience. When you play a gold card, summon him from your deck. This unit may raid your hand for yummy treats. What? What does that mean? Like he's gonna just remove cards from your hand? But he's like a permanent +5 on the board. Alright, this is almost certainly like a not worth it, but come on, this card is amazing. I have to play with it. Alright, so somewhere down here there's a puzzle. Yeah. So we're gonna go that way first. More beasties. Eliminate the ancient foglet. Do not let Meve die. Alright. In the fog, in order to evade Nilfgaardian patrols, Meve veered from the main road. This detour, however, presented other dangers. The Lyrians lost their way riding through a mist-draped forest. Following a narrow, overgrown path, they stumbled upon a ruined homestead. It appeared abandoned, yet appearances can be deceiving. Indeed. Indeed they can. Alright. On turns, Tart spawn 2 foglets every turn? Oh my. Okay. And what? All right. Well, I guess let's lead with a Wagenberg. So we want to charge that up. Every turn on turn end, move 1 road towards the opponent. If on the melee road, destroy a random palisade instead. If there are no palisades, destroy Meave. Death Wish, damage the ancient foglet by 5. Okay. So we can use the slinger to move them back, but maybe it doesn't actually make sense to do that immediately. Maybe it makes more sense to let those 2 come through so I can get the fire down. I don't actually know. Let's see, on turn end, and then every turn on turn start. So the fire we actually want to be here, not just because it hits the foglet, but obviously for that reason. But the awkward thing about that, so we don't want to move. There's never going to be more than these 3 units. We don't want to move this guy here. Oh wait, no, they're gonna keep attacking the palisades. Okay, so we do, yeah, okay. So we want to do this.
Your heads.
And then okay, so now I could finish them off, but I would rather save the Wagenberg and I have to eliminate this guy. 45 is so much. I'm like, what is this guy gonna do? I don't know. This dealing enough damage to this guy seems impractical. Oh, right! That's how you deal damage to him. Okay, forgot about that part. Oh, yeah, the dooming. Okay, so... So we can we can kill this guy and weaken that guy. There's like a... I don't know what it is exactly, but I guess a foglet or something, like making like some kind of like rasping, like growling kind of noise in the background that for a second there was like in tune with the music. It might be hard to hear, but it was really goofy. It's like blah, 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 or something. Okay, so yeah, anyway, we can combo this down, and then eventually we get this guy up to 4. I think that'll be good. I don't think this guy is going to be really relevant. Like, giving another charge to him is only going to do allow him to deal 1 damage. I mean, I guess, actually, what I could do is fire him now, get these both down to 2, and then combo them both out, and then give him another charge. That's probably actually better. And then he fires for another 2 damage. Yeah.
Gonna need 3 buckets of nails and a tub full of pegs.
Alright.
Not going into the fray already, are we?
Yeah, I guess it doesn't really matter whether I fire this now or later.
Don't you worry yourself, Grace. We'll get it done in no time.
Boom. I overkill him quite hard. Oh, down he goes. Alright. This forest belongs to the End Shade. Leave this place at once, cursed Dwan, or you shall remain here for all eternity. Eldane. I'm pretty sure End Shade is how you pronounce this. I did listen to the audiobooks for the book series. Dwana or Dwana. They probably say End Shade at some point during the Witcher games, but it comes up more often during the books, I think. It's the later ones. Alright, I assume I still can only build that one stupid thing. Oh, no. So this is the recruit cap thing. Well, I definitely don't. I regret taking this. I don't want that. Alright, something's gonna happen up here. Probably gonna get ambushed.
Neve and her companions neared the Moulderwood, a dense, ancient forest of trees whose tangled branches had witnessed the conjunction of the spheres. It was not until King Vidamont's day that a road was finally carved through the primeval thicket, significantly shortening the journey from Rossburg to Aldersburg.
Even when peace reigns, danger rules this road.
Rayla said.
Now no one dares travel it.
So, a couple of things here. Assuming that Eldane or at least some elves are going to jump out, this is going to be very reminiscent of the early scene in Witcher 2 when you start out Witcher 2 and that like siege the castle, and then the dragon like comes in and blows everything up, and then you leave with Dandelion and Triss. Or is it no, it's just Triss. Dandelion isn't there. But anyway, Dandelion's just narrating. Anyway, you leave with Triss and you get on a boat and you sail up the Yaruga or maybe some other river, but when your boat gets where it's going, you like get out and start walking into this forest, then immediately get ambushed by what's his name? The elf that is like one of him and Vernon Roach are like the two like path choices that you have in Witcher 2. Anyway, like he's like literally he's up on like a big log or something, like just like how here there's this overhanging log thing. It's like the same like sort of visual setup. And then the other thing I wanted to mention is the conjunction of spheres. If you're not familiar with the Witcher lore, is like the idea that the basically like these different worlds crash together. So we had like the kind of human world, which is speculated, though not like completely confirmed to be our world, although maybe a more mythological version of our world, because there's a point where Ciri, like when she's like traveling around, runs into Galahad from like Arthurian legend, but that may also be because she traveled to like a different, to like the world of Arthurian legend, not because our world is that one. But anyway, so our world, which had humans in it, and then there's like the elves world, which where it's just where like the antagonist from Witcher 3 lives, and a bunch of other elves that are not oppressed. And then you have the so that's where like I forget the oppressed elves are the End Shade, and then there's like the N something NL ELLE that are the elves in the other like old elven world. And then there's also the world of monsters. So like those all like kind of like crash together into this like one world. And I think I think the NL like aren't like it's not that their world crashed into this one, it's that they have developed like world hopping technology basically that is like kind of like what Ciri can do, but like through like application of not just like their natural innate magic maybe, or something like that. Anyway, but it's interesting, and it explains why like there's all these monsters, and it doesn't really seem like a logical ecosystem, and that's part of the reason is because it wasn't like the world didn't like develop this way naturally. It was like I don't know what world the monsters are supposed to have come from or why their world was supposed to have made sense, but basically like the humans didn't have to deal with that, and then all of a sudden at some point, like hundreds or maybe thousands, but not many thousands of years in the past, all of a sudden they had to deal with all this stuff.
At the edge of the wood by the road stood an enormous willow. Its branches swept down to cover its trunk, looking for all the world like long tresses shrouding a woman's face. Meve had an ill premonition. She did not like the sickly sweet aroma wafting from this tree, nor the metallic buzzing of insect wings. She sent a scout to investigate. He drew aside the drooping branches and stumbled back. There were men bound to the tree, covered in sap oozing from gashes in its trunk. Its heavy scent had attracted swarms of insects, flies, wasps, bees and beetles. They seethed over the bound men, crawling in and out of their ears and nostrils.
Eldain welcomes us to his wood,
Raylo whispered.
Okay, I guess he's not going to ambush us. He's just going to send us a very unpleasant message.
Meve stepped towards the tree and saw the men stuck to it were all still alive. Those the elves had caught recently writhed and howled for rescue. Those hanging longer merely followed the queen with half-crazed, bloodshot eyes.
I mean, this seems like a great way to get ambushed, but like, do I care? Like, I'll just have to fight a battle.
Well, are you to stand there all day?
Meve screamed to her dumbstruck Lyrians.
Free them, at once!
Her soldiers needed no more prompting and set about sawing at the ropes with their blades. As soon as they had freed the first captive, before even a word of thanks could be uttered, a flaming streak soared through the air and stuck.
Alright, I lost 8 recruits.
Oozing resin burst
That's
into
okay.
flames, engulfing the prisoners as well as the soldiers who had come to their aid. Elder speech battle cries rang out from the woods as elven warriors launched their attack.
Nilkantia! It's a trap!
Cried Raynor.
Of course it's a trap.
Defend the queen!
The Lyrians fought in a veritable inferno, choking and drowning in a sea of crimson smoke, surrounded by the horrific screams of men whose skin had begun to melt and warp. The ambushing elves appeared as specters, black paint streaked across their faces, eyes smoldering with their virulent hatred for man or humankind. Yeah, and so I guess the other thing that made about the conjunction of spheres, that's why you have, like, over time, the humans taking over the territory from the End Shade elves, is because they, like, you know, they just sort of, at some point in the past, it was like, all of a sudden it was like, oh, we're neighbors of these elves now, and the elves, by virtue of not being the NL elves and on that world or whatever, aren't as, like, powerful or magically and that sort of thing. Anyway, he's not a Blitz card. That's sad. Yeah, look at this statue. That looks pretty cool. What does this guy do? On round start, spawn fire on each enemy row. Okay, so everything is going to be on fire. Well, that makes sense, and maybe that's my punishment for ignoring the fact that there is an obvious trap. So I'd really like to get Black Rayla going, obviously. That's a blitz, so that's a blitz. That's a blitz. That's a blitz. That's a blitz. That's not a blitz. This is going to be hard to make use of with everything on fire. So I might want to mulligan it. These guys are actually going to be pretty good because of the armor. They're going to be able to absorb some of the fire damage. We can really pull all of our blitz units out with these drummers and Xavier and the decoy. I think I am gonna mulligan the Wagenberg.
Keep your heads in the fight! They'll seek to blind us with shock and awe! Elarin!
Oh man, that is absolutely brutal. I could just pit trap. If you can decoy the pit trap, interesting.
Nay, Thronebreaker camest.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of. Oh, if it was already boosted. I was thinking it was if it was already damaged. Okay, that's not quite so alarming.
Again and again and again.
Now we will see who is weak! Kill them! Kill them all!
Calm down there, Rayla. That's not good timing. Well, I guess it's okay. Yeah. Okay. So do I soup or do I just play another drummer? I think drummer.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
I shall not fail! Our ballista, your command.
More drummers.
Left, right, left, right.
Some kind of trap card of his own on his own side. I don't know what that's going to accomplish exactly, but... War wagon. Let's play that in the back.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Whoa. Why is it a 1? Right? Oh, because of the... That's so clever! That's incredible! Play it into the pitfall trap, have it damage, and then have it deal more damage. I mean, that's amazing. I love it. Alright. Or drumming.
Again and again and again.
Death awaits us all.
What does this do? Lock an enemy unit to the drummer. So I just gotta kill that thing. Well, let's play this. So we could revive a drummer, or we could mark and yeah, like this. Oh, hey Knickers.
A storm is coming. Let's enjoy the weather while we still can.
Alright, after 2 turns on turn start, damage adjacent units by 6. If any were destroyed, move to the other side of the battlefield. Okay, so... I can move these guys out of the way. My question is, does this guy get to fire off his thing? The other thing I could do is play the Lyrian horn. After moving these guys. Yeah, I think I'm gonna do that. So if I'm thinking about this correctly, this thing is not going to stay on my side. Unless this guy takes fire damage. But...
Everything all right?
Oh, I guess that's one way to do it. Have it destroy your own spy. Alright. More drumming.
An army's a waste of time for one like me.
I suppose I should have played him on the other side of the flag, given the way that I know that that thing works, but whatever. Probably won't matter. Oh, I've got my broadsword up. Should I just use it to pump out a little bit more damage here? Also use the runestone. Let's see, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah. No, wrong. Fine, whatever. I do that, bang. I wonder if that means this guy's marking just doesn't do anything anymore. Probably does.
Wow.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm of all say.
Fix that. So far, it doesn't look like Knickers has tried to eat my hand. Alright, I obviously don't need to keep playing, but let's see if I can. If Knickers will eat Xavier or something. Guess not. Okay, whatever.
Don't let them regroup! Finish off the wounded!
Calm down, Rayla.
The battle done, Meve surveyed the carnage, her breath still ragged. The thick stench of blood, sap, and ash she sucked in made her stomach churn and head swoon.
The Scoia'tael. I'd heard of their cruelty, but...
The Queen said, sheathing her sword.
But never have I countenanced a thing like this.
Black Rayla, who had just extracted her blade from between an elven gorilla's ribs, smiled darkly.
Worst is yet to come, my lady.
Is this actually worse than what the Nilfgaardians did? I mean, it's bad. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to make it sound like I'm like, oh, the Scoia'tael did nothing wrong. Like, you know, they're not exactly non-violent resistors, but it's not like, I don't know. I guess it probably is worse than what the Nilfgaardians did. I'm not sure.
The Queen regrouped her forces and marched into the Moulderwood. The Lyrians sang none of their usual marching songs. Instead, they walked in silence, eyes darting constantly to their flanks.
I guess at a certain point, it crosses the threshold, and then it's just like, it's all just bad. Okay. So this tree is on fire. That's nice. I'm sure that'll be good.
Hear that? Nightingales. Unmindful of war, they sing on.
Those are no birds, my lady. Just Scoia'tael scouts use animal cries to communicate. Tell the men to hold to the road, my lady. Anyone wanders in the trees, they don't come out.
Okay. I got more crap I can make in the workshop. That's the recruit crap thing. I can do this. Which I need to eventually get upgraded bomber. Or I can get to War Wagon Plus and the Hartuza Adept, both of which I would like to have. Oh, no, I can't do that. This costs me too much wood. Wait, what was the... Oh, I can just get the Cartographer's Table thing. Ugh. Yeah, I don't care about this enough. I mean, I would like to get Bomber Plus, but, like, it's so expensive. I'd rather just go for this. Alright, so 25... Until I have 2,500 wood, I just should just stop clicking on that damn icon. They're serious about not going out off the path here, not giving me much choice in the matter, but I can go in here. I'm sure this will be interesting. Translated from Elder Speech. To all divisions, the Lyrian Queen is currently passing through the Moulderwood. Her regiment is not large, but we cannot afford to underestimate her. Do what you can to halt her advance and weaken her forces. We will strike when they are at their breaking point. Haldane. Okay, why was this just like left here for us to find? That's what I would like to know. Wait, so we're ultimately... I guess either which way we go. So I guess I'm gonna keep going this way, but first let's grab this. Boop. Milady, our soldiers found a merchant at the bottom of a pitfall. Oh no. He's in a poor state, with extensive wounds and a high fever. What shall we do with him? We can get a puzzle piece. We can get a puzzle piece either way. Is there a nearby village? So we can get either 100 wood or positive morale. I do need wood. But this feels wrong. What is this? Some kind of potion, I think. I think in here I can see artifact compression. Oh, that's what happens to Triss. She gets like turned into like a little doll. I forget whether that's a thing that can happen in the books or just in or it just comes up in the games. Attention! In light of recent events in the Moulderwood, I hereby order the following. Representatives of the elder races caught consorting with the Scoia'tael shall be executed without trial, together with their families and their belongings confiscated. Representatives of the elder races are forbidden to leave their dwellings after dark on penalty of lashing. Taxes for representatives of the elder races shall be increased threefold until further notice. Bronimir County. Well, I'm sure that won't incentivize them to do anything undesirable. Oh, hello, representatives of the elder races.
Maeve's path took her to the village of Iconfurt. Unlike most settlements in the area, not a single human dwelled here. Instead, only elves and dwarves sat on its porches and stared at the passing Lyrians with clear aversion. Not a single greeting was extended to their allies in arms. Not a single peddler tried to hawk their wares. The only sound was that of snapping shutters and slamming doors.
Something's amiss,
Rayla said, furrowing her brow.
Order a halt, my lady, and give me a moment to look around.
Well, are you giving orders now? But
You've a quarter of an hour.
Maeve said as she dismounted.
And not a moment more.
The Queen sat in the shade of a large pear tree. She shut her eyes and listened to the chirping of crickets in the grass, savoring a rare moment of relaxation. But the calm did not last. Within moments, one of her scouts returned, a certain Sergeant Niedermere. Tears streamed down his weathered, scar-pocked face.
Lady, come with us, please. You'll need to see this for yourself.
The sergeant led her to the still smouldering remains of a mill. Her soldiers were picking things out from the ashes. When she got closer, she realized in horror they were human skulls, some no larger than apples.
Tell the villagers to gather by the well.
The Queen said in a strained voice.
Or be executed.
The elves and dwarves attempted no denials. They admitted Eldain and his Scoia'tael had helped them round up all the humans in their village, march them into the mill, then set it aflame.
They stole our lands. They filed our names, beat us, murdered us in bloodthirsty pogroms,
shouted one of the dwarves.
They had it coming to them. Got their comeuppance, I'd say.
Maeve was no stranger to the cruelty of war, but the enormous evil she found in Iconfurt overwhelmed her. She felt a terrible weight on her chest, found it hard to draw breath, and her head spun. She felt she could hear the cries of humans being burned alive.
Ma'am,
whispered Reynard.
You must pronounce something.
Or simply turn the matter over to me, Your Grace.
Rayla interrupted.
I know what to do.
Like that. Oh man. I don't think I don't think saving 6 soldiers is worth letting Rayla do some sort of eye for an eye nonsense.
You know what you deserve,
Maeve said.
But my soldiers are neither murderers nor executioners, and you are not my subjects. So I shall have you escorted to Rosberg. Let the authorities there mete out justice. With a nymph, I hope.
Everyone at Rosberg is dead.
The Queen chose a dozen soldiers and tasked them with seeing the non-humans of Iconfurt tried by an Edirnian judge. In doing so, she weakened her forces, but saved herself and her Lyrians from having to carry out a bloody sentence by their own hand.
And everyone disappears. Wow. Did that just knock my morale down? Would that it have been better if I had executed them? Like, what? I don't know. Alright, well there's the mill that they referred to. I would actually say, overall, this game might be even more intent on demonstrating the downsides of the Scoia'tael than the Witcher games were. Although I don't know to what extent that's because you're playing as, you know, someone who actually represents human interests rather than Geralt, who, while kind of sort of human, doesn't really care about that so much. Interesting that I can go, like, potentially all the way over here without doing this first. I don't think it makes sense to, though. I don't think I'm going to come up here and then go down here. And... oh, actually, there's a bunch of stuff to do over here. Maybe I'll actually... oh, no, I'll grab this thing up here first because it's close. Nilfgaardians. Oh ho!
What was that?
Meve asked Reynard, who rode beside her.
A scream. A man's, I think.
Need to investigate. Gather a few men and we ride. Quickly!
The screaming came from a small settlement. When Meve rode up to its farmhouses, her horse reared and neighed in terror. Necrophages swarmed all around. The monsters surrounded a few Nilfgaardians who were trying, with no success, to chase them off with torches. Reynard swept his gaze over the carnage and said,
"They cannot stave them off, and their armor is too heavy for them to flee."
My enemy's enemy. I don't know which is which. I mean, obviously I have to save them because that means I get to fight a battle, but I don't know what happens after that. Like, do we take them prisoner, or what?
Meve was uncertain at first how to act. But when she saw ghouls snatch one of the Nilfgaardians and rip him to shreds, she drew her sword.
No one deserves such a death. Not even a Nilfgaardian. Follow me!
Extra cards. Interesting. Does that mean extra cards in my deck? Probably. In defense of the enemy, if told at the war's outbreak Meve would one day stand in defense of Nilfgaardian troops, risking the lives of her own soldiers, she'd have given a hearty laugh. And yet, the Queen had now found herself in that very situation. As she looked at the ghoul's fangs, dribbling with foul spittle, she wondered whether she had made the correct decision. Whatever her conclusion, the opportunity to retreat had already long passed. Yeah, I assume extra cards doesn't mean extra cards in hand. Alright, so what do we got? Another bloodthirsty owl ghoul. Yep. Oh. Huh. That's decent, I guess. Hulking Necker. Every turn, summon a Necker from your deck or boost self by one if this row is full. Oh. Well, that seems like a good use of the broadsword. Every 2 turns, consume the top unit from your graveyard, which is a bunch of Nilfgaardians. What do these guys do? Huh. Okay. And there's no special rules. Just gotta win. Just win. Alright. Blitz. 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 Yeah, we don't want knickers in hand, that's for sure. Black Rayla, though. 3 drummers, a war wagon, a wagonberg, some sport cards, some gold cards. Seems pretty good. I would like to have the, oh no, wait, I've got, yeah. So having the Lyrian Horn means that the footmen will be better at dueling, so that's nice. Yeah, alright.
Lower your weapons! We're here to rescue you!
Alright. Yeah, so let's Wagenberg in this row. We have more space. And get these fools out of here.
Why do you help us?
Why not? I guess I can. These guys will probably just summon more of themselves, and I can hit them again with the next time I have broadswords available, so.
Again and again and again.
Oh! I just realized something that is important about how dueling works and why it's not absolute trash. When you hit the enemy, it reduces their power, and then they don't hit back as hard. Yeah, that's... Okay, so these guys are pretty good at dueling the Neckers, actually, because they hit them for 3, that knocks them down to 1, and then they retaliate and only do armor damage, and then they kill them. Yeah. That... For whatever reason, I was thinking it was like, oh, if you play like... If you have like an 8, duel a 9, like it'll deal 8 damage to the 9, and then the 9 will kill the 8, so it's like not really that good. But actually, an 8 dueling a 9 means you have a 7 and they have nothing, which means you just gained like 8, which, I mean, I guess is exactly what you would expect given that you used an 8. But anyway, the point is, it's better than I was thinking. Oh, anyway. Yeah, so these guys are about to kill these Neckers. I could also use the Lyrian Horn on them, and then they would not even take damage when doing it. That'd be kind of cool. Like, not take armor damage, that is, and be better prepared to duel these guys later on or something like that. So, I mean, the downside of using the horn now is I don't get to apply it to nearly as many units. So maybe what I should do is let them take the 1 armor damage now and then, like, horn them later. It's probably better. So, I'll do that.
Army's a waste of time for one like me.
Rot Fiends. Yeah, look at that.
Let the ghouls eat them, I say.
Silence! The Queen has made her decision.
Patooey. Okay. Oh, do they not duel again? Is it only the once? Oh, that's disappointing. But it means I made the right call on not boosting them yet. Really be nice to kill these grave hags, but it's gonna be tough.
Left, right, left, right.
So I'll go ahead and pop one of the drummers. I'm hoping I can get the... Oh, okay, never mind. Alright, let's start.
Again and again and again.
Okay. I've got this thing up, so I could use the runestone, hit these guys for 4 each, and then wipe all of these guys, and then these will do some damage to the Grape Hex too. So I like that. Should I pop these guys and hope to draw some... I guess I should because of the loyalty ability, so... Oh, alright.
You can try to win them all, but you won't.
Alright. To hit the big one or the little one? It's gonna deal 8 damage. Just kidding, 7 damage. Which is a little too much to knock this one into broadsword range, so I guess I hit... Let's see, these are at 18 and this one's at 14, so if I do 7 and 6... Yeah, I think I had the big one.
One bullet's all I need.
Oh, I've got this thing too. Alright, so now I can do 8 or 6 damage. If I do 8 damage to this guy, it dies off the Rot Fiend's dying, so I like that.
Give me a target.
Okay. So, runestone time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh. Hey there. That's pretty good. I like that turn. Okay. So... if I move these two back, I can get this guy up to 5, which is not enough to do anything terribly interesting. If I also play back Black Rayla, I can get him to 6. If she summons a card, and I can get him to 7, which is still... I would need him to do 8. If he could do 8 here, you know, blow this row away, but he can't, so... What am I going to pull with Black Rayla? I'm not actually sure. Oh, It's an order, so actually I should just play her.
Enough chit-chat. Draw your weapon.
And I can always have her get recharged by Reynard too. Yeah. So how many charges does he have? Can't tell. Pitfall Trap's pretty solid. Xavier is like overkill. Cavalry is a little slow at this point. Arbalest is obviously really good. Let's see. Although I'd have preferred... that the Arbalest had come out after I moved like one of these guys, but... So I can do 7 damage with the Arbalest. Pitfall Trap could do 10 damage to the front row. And ultimately, in conjunction with this, put this row in range to get blown to smithereens. So I got like that. Actually, I should have summoned Xavier and then have Xavier use the order on Rayla. That would have just been like strictly better. Well, that's a combo I need to keep in mind. Like I can use Rayla to summon Xavier and then use Xavier to have Rayla do more stuff later, and yeah, no, that I definitely need to be doing that. Okay, so I don't quite yet want to play. Well, I guess I could decoy Rayla. I was planning to decoy Reynard, but I had also just Horn now, which would allow me to wipe these, but I think maybe I'll just play this thing. An Arbalest or a spot. Ooh. Huh. That's silly. Alright. Yeah, I like doing the spy. It's pretty good. Why is he attacking that card? I don't mind that he is. If he clears him out for me, that'd be nice. But it seems the Wagenberg would be the obvious target. Okay. Oh, Reynard can allow her to summon Xavier if I want. I'm gonna run out of space. I need them to damage more of my cards. Alright. I guess I move, go ahead and, if I'm gonna do that, I go ahead and move these guys like this, and fire! This is overkill damage, but I need the 6 to be able to kill the Rot Fiends anyway. Okay. I guess it doesn't really matter where I put.
Your Majesty is exceptional.
Alright, there's no real reason to use any of these abilities this turn, so I'll just save them. I probably already got this one at this point anyway. Oh yeah. Dude. Hit this guy, come on. You were doing it before. Why you gotta be like that? Yeah, I have no room for like anything at this point. Oh, I've got my broadsword up. So can I deal 4 damage to this thing? I doubt it. So this row is full, this row is not quite full. I guess I'll move the banner and then do one of these. Yeah, that's kind of what I figured.
Arbalist at your command.
He's gonna do 9 damage, so it actually makes sense to hit this thing. Yeah. I guess do this. More rot fiends. If I can't look at my deck. Okay, fine. I don't know what I'm doing with all these orders. I need them to kill things. Why are they so uncooperative? Not that it matters, but I can call back an Arbalist and kill one of these guys. I'll do 3 damage, he'll have 3, it still won't be enough to do anything. These guys are in the way. I should have dealt damage to them. Whatever, this doesn't even matter. Let's just, like... Oh. Wait. More rot fiends.
I'm a monster.
Why is it even allowing me to do this? Like, I can't actually play the cards. Okay, sure.
It worked, Your Grace. The monsters flee.
The Lyrians and the Nilfgaardians fought the monsters side by side, a united force. But when the last necrophage fell, the soldiers immediately returned to their respective divisions. Neve's soldiers looked at the invaders askance, uncertain what would happen next. Suddenly, one of the Nilfgaardians broke ranks and fell to his knees.
Ooh.
Your Grace, I know you have no reason to trust us, but we are not enemies. We hail from Geisel, a land Nilfgaard conquered and made its province. We did not ask to fight in this war by force. We were conscripted.
The soldier hefted his sword by the blade and handed it, hilt first, to the Queen.
We yearned for a way to desert, and we have found it. Your Grace, allow us to join your army. We long for the Empire's defeat every bit as much as you do.
Interesting. I can believe that. I mean, they might be lying, but it's like... That would be way too much of like a Xanatos roulette type thing.
Neve helped the kneeling soldier to his feet.
The enemy of Nilfgaard is my friend, no matter who he is or whence he hail.
The Lyrians were clearly displeased with their queen's decision. The black-clad deserters from Geso would need to earn their trust.
That's fine. Minus morale. Oh, yep, there it is. Alright, well... Oh, and there's a shrine right there to fix it. Well, we're about done with this episode. I'm having increasing difficulty keeping these to an hour, I guess because the battles are taking me longer. Before I finish, let's see what the deal is with these cards. I mean, I saw them, you know, in the last battle, but nonetheless. So... Oh, this is a completely different card. On round 1 start, appear on the battlefield. Order, move this unit to your deck, then summon a random unit from your deck to a random allied row. Summon, move automatically to the battlefield not considered played. Does that mean, is this their, like, doesn't trigger... Yep, that's the no battle cry for you ability. I don't think I actually want that. I mean, I could just never use the ability, but then they might, like, clog my ranks. Like, I could just add them to the deck and they wouldn't actually take up any space. In fact, you could use them as, like, if you really know what you're doing and how to fine-tune deck, you could use them as deck thinning by, like, you know, taking out a couple cards, add these in, they're gonna, like, you know, filter out, and then just don't trigger the order, potentially. Or if you had cards that didn't care about their deployability, you could just keep playing them, like, every time you drew them, and use the order, and keep, you know, cycling stuff in that way. But I don't think it fits well with my deck because I do have a lot of on-deploy stuff. This is summon a random unit, so you don't have to worry about that stuff. He has a deploy, she doesn't. He doesn't. Deploying Knickers is a waste. Also, I have to say, Knickers seems maybe not that good, but, like, given, like, I do have problems with filling up my rows. Anyway, that has a deploy ability, that has a deploy ability, that has a deploy ability, and that has a, yeah, I don't think so. Alright. On round 1, appear on the battlefield. Loyal, damage a random enemy by 2. Okay, now that I can get behind. We're not Nilfgaardians, we just look exactly like Nilfgaardians. It's fine. I've never heard of Geso before. Yeah, I could definitely get behind. Oh, these cost 10 supply, wow. Alright, I will consider adding these to my deck once I bump my supply cap again, which I cannot currently afford to do. I don't believe. I can decrease my recruit cap, which has much the same effect, but less of it. I forget, where is the more supply? It's around here somewhere. I'm actually not that far from being able to do it. But I think I would actually still rather grab this upgrade, which I am currently a little more than 400 wood short of. Then once I do that, I'll have a ton of gold and absolutely no wood. Anyway, alright, I think that does it for this episode. Next time... Oh, so this bridge is broken. That's why I can't go all the way up there. Yep. Okay, so next time, we're going to make our way down here. And then, actually, I'm probably just going to fast travel here. But anyway, we're going to make our way down here, and then we're going to probably go explore this area, too, before we head up and tackle the Tekel Eldane. Until then.